Street Level Apologetics, the interview. Yeah. Party people, the place to be. I go by the name of the BK Apologists, transmitting all the way live. New York is the city. Brooklyn is the borough. What's good? What's popping? Happy Sunday. Hope everybody had a good time at church today, and they were edified and inspired to continue that amazing walk that we have in Jesus. Of course, we got to say what's up to the party people in the chat. We got Revelator 007. We got Bodega Lady Michelle Turner in the building. We got my main man, Mr. Green. We got Adrian Jones. We got the incomparable, the indelible, Nate2D2. We got my man JP in the check-in. We got Gingerbread Man SA in the house. That's what I'm talking about. We got the real American, Mr. Phil Fox on the check-in. And as always, if you have not already, please like, share, and subscribe. Please share that link. Tell a friend to tell a friend that it's him again. And if you like how it goes down over here at the BK Apologists, you can show your love via PayPal. And if you would like to be a monthly supporter of BK, you can become a patron where you get an assortment of goodies that enhances your Bible study. So, with that being said, man, I'm so happy to be here. This is my first time actually going live on a Sunday evening. And I have really good reason why to go live this Sunday evening, because as you see, I have an all-star panel. And we're here to discuss this brand new addition to the literary corpus of the UA. And of course, we're talking about street level apologetics. That's right. There you go. There you go. Woo. Nice.
Let's go.
Nice. And of course, you know, we have the contributors of the book here. We're going to ask them about the book and, you know, all sorts of details. And of course, the people in the chat, when it's time, have your questions ready, and we could just have a good time. So, with that being said, actually, before we do that, let me share my screen real quick. All right. So, you know, we have some celebrity endorsements of the book already. We got my man Stephen Tilley. We got the real American Phil Fox. We got the king of all moderators, Nate2D2. I think he purposely put the book upside down. He did that on purpose. You know, of course, you can get, you know, of course, I had to give, you know, my endorsement. You know, this book is the perfect defending the faith starter kit for all apologetic newbies getting their feet wet and having fruitful discourse about the gospel in the public square, whether on social media or at the barbershop, hair salon, or corner store. Street Level Apologetics is a must read to equip the saints for the work of ministry for building up the body of Christ. Ephesians 4:12. It's available now on Amazon, right? And the cool thing about it being Amazon, and I just want to blow it up real quick, it is the #1 release in evangelism, ladies and gentlemen. #1 with a bullet. Ha! All right?
Dropped yet.
Kraka. So,
I'm coming for you, Paul Washer. We're coming for you, Ray Comfort.
Coming for you. Hear my footsteps. They're heavy. They're heavy. So, but vocab, let's start with you. And let's start with, you know, a primary question here. Why this book at this time?
Well, I'm going to get right into that. But first, speaking of your endorsement, I just want to mention, I think you're the only one who put a Bible verse in their endorsement. So you Jesus juked everybody. You Jesus juked everybody.
The maturest Christian in the UA
award
goes to.
Got him. So I want to point that out. Now you're a published author too, by the way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'll take it.
That's a good point.
But no, this book, the reason why is as I was doing a book on urban cults, that was the original genesis of this. I said, first we got to talk about being out there and why we share the gospel, how to share the gospel. And I realized it was just turning into its own thing. It was no longer the beginning of a book on urban cults. It was this whole other thing. And I just put away the other part of the book about like the cults and whatnot, and just focused on that. And I could not believe how much I had already written on it, plus how easy I was able to write on it in addition to what I had written. And I was like, whoa, this is its own thing. This is awesome. This is cool. This is biblical examples of evangelism, everything. And so that's how it came about. But the thing is, Christianity has theological competitors more than ever, and we can't lose a passion for sharing the gospel in the process of realizing that we just got to stay out there sharing the gospel, personal, public, everything. And this book is designed to light a fire under people. That's the ultimate goal, is to kindle something in your heart as a Christian. That's what I'm going for.
And in order for you to raise this raging bonfire of apologetic sturdiness, you have acquired and amassed yourself a nice little team here. So what I want to do right now is kind of go down the line and ask you why these particular people. And we're going to start with, of course, ladies first. Bodega ladies, definitely bodega ladies first. DNEW. Why did you have DNEW partake in this endeavor?
DNEW was not necessarily originally supposed to write anything for the book, but she did. Because originally when she approached me and I approached her, I don't really remember exactly how it happened, but she was like, I'll help. And I'm like, okay, here's how to help. And I just dumped a bunch of stuff on her lap, I just had this mess of a manuscript. And she went through it with a fine-tooth comb, and it was very helpful. But the thing is, she didn't just do it once. She did it like 20 times.
30.
Like multiple edits,
She corrected you there. Yeah, 30. Yeah.
She said 30.
Yeah, she's probably right. And by the end, I was like, DNEW, you know this book better than anyone else. I think you know the book better than me. Can you write like the preface that explains what the book is about? And because like who's better for the job? You're by far the most qualified person to write this. And so she did. And so basically, her willingness and then her sharpness, because she was able to spot all kinds of things, just made her overqualified for the editing of it. But then it became like a natural, like, duh kind of moment towards the end. Like, well, we need something that lays out the book. And I was like, there's no one better to do that than you. So are you down to write it? And she did it with ease. And there you go. So she went from editor to contributor on the writing side, just kind of with a little step,
Nice. Cool. And then, of course, you have, the bad boy of the UA, the David Ruffin of Urban Apologetics, MJ Jackson. Why did you choose this individual, sir?
The David Ruffin.
Well, it's like when Adam dies, we'll all be sad. But if MJ's still alive, we won't be as sad.
Wow.
So with MJ,
wow. Okay.
It's like once Adam's in the mix, you can't not have MJ. And MJ on the serious tip, he's a guy that I talk to multiple times in a month, along with Adam and DNEW and all that. And so I'm like, I know you've got some stuff on this. Here's what the book's about. You've got to have some stuff on some of this. And he did. So I was like, well, send that stuff right over. And then what happened is it just tied right in with the stuff that had already been written. So it just I was like, ooh, this is perfect. And then I had to break some stuff up and put this there and that there. But it was just a matter of I already talked to him. A lot of the stuff is stuff we already talked about. I asked him. He had some stuff. He sent it. It was good. It went in seamlessly. And it was just everything was really hand in glove with a lot of this. And his contribution is definitely one of those. And so I was glad to have it. And I'm very excited that he was down to do it. And he did a great job.
Cool. And I don't know why you had this other individual as part of the book. I mean, I guess you was feeling charitable and you was giving somebody a shot, So, I mean, that's my opinion, but you could tell us exactly why of all the people you could have had on this book, why did you choose True ID?
Well, with Adam Coleman, in a lot of ways, he's the spine of the book because his chapter contributions begin in 9 and they go through 10. And if that wasn't in there, the book would be missing like a big hinge and a big element for people to understand what's going on. And so I had talked to him like he was like the first person. This was like a long time ago when it wasn't even a certain thing that the book would really happen. And he said, well, here's what I got. And then I worked with it, and I realized it was going to be a key element of the book so people can understand what's going on in the cities. What are some of the challenges and the issues in the current culture and stuff like that. And it's very, very good. He did it. If anyone else, not just myself, but I think if anyone else would have tried to write what he wrote, they could have done okay, maybe, but it just would not have been the same. And so the stuff he did, I think, is very helpful in explaining some of the issues. And so I feel like after a person reads initially what was Adam's, and then MJ contributed to, those are the main sections, 8, 9, and 10, those chapters. If they read, let's say you get the book and you only read chapters 8, 9, 10, which I'm okay with. By the end of that, you should have a key thing in your heart, if you're a Christian, which is greater understanding and sympathy, compassion, passion for folks caught up in the false ideologies. You should have a much greater understanding, but also compassion. And so I think it will make you a wiser Christian. And so that's really essential, the stuff he contributed. And he just did a great job. I mean, I'm not like some amazing editor or writer, but let me just say his stuff is so easy to edit or whatever, because you don't really have to do much because he already writes so clear. It's kind of like, well, what, I don't got to really do nothing with this. It's already perfect, you know? So Adam killed it. No question.
Cool.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
It's true.
But let's dive a little deeper in those contributions. Let's go to MJ. So what did you bring to the book? Like, what chapters can expect your fingerprints on?
All right. So my chapter starts at part 2, street level challenges, and right then and there we kind of getting into some of the sociology that also goes into urban apologetics as well, because apologetics does not take place in a cultural vacuum. And so really what we're looking at is some of the cultural challenges and some of the reasons why we need to engage these identity cults. And so we look at the history of we look at the history of the target group that we're trying to evangelize. And I just wanted to do my best to lay out the history per se of some of the issues that emerged in really a sensitive manner. I mean, I know that at the end of the day, some folks say that the only thing that's blocking a person from coming to Jesus is their sin, but sin doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? There can be like stumbling blocks placed in front of people that prevent them also from coming to Jesus. I mean, that's why Paul warns us of placing stumbling blocks. That's why Jesus talks about how offenses will come and things like that. But woe to those, who offend even one of these little ones. Even Jesus warned about offenses. So really, in my chapter, I'm just kind of laying out a little bit of the history, a little bit of the history of African Americans in America, kind of how, their identity and culture have been stripped, things like that. And what has happened as with that vacuum that was created, these counterfeits have came in and tried to give dignity and prominence to a people that had been abused. Ultimately, like I said, we know that our dignity is grounded in the Creator, of course, and ultimately we try to point people back to Jesus. But me personally, and vocab did approach me right after all those shenanigans with Jabari, to be perfectly honest, a few years back. He was like, "Hey man, you ever thought about writing?" I'm like, "No, not really. Just writing these papers that I'm doing for school. That's about it." So I did have some material on deck, so to speak. But when I engage in apologetics and things like that, it all starts with with laying a certain foundation and understanding who I'm dealing with. And so that's what I try to do in my contributions, just aid the practitioner of street level apologetics and understanding who and what you're dealing with, so that you can kind of avoid certain cultural blind spots if you have them.
No, that's really, really important. I mean, when we can find common ground with people that we're reaching out to, we need to find that ground. It's okay to agree. Like there's some things, some of the issues, critiques they have, we have too. And I think it's a point that we shared. It's like, listen, we see what you see. It's important for us to show that, so that they know that we're not, that we can relate. Paul was somebody who's very much about being able to relate to everyone, without compromising his beliefs, so that he might save some. So I think that's a very powerful thing that you have in the book, sir. So
BK, just so
yes,
everyone
sir.
knows.
Yes, sir.
So the Adam and MJ, the part they mainly do starts in 8, goes to 10. And then the way it works is you can see who wrote what, because there's a parentheses after the paragraph headings. So you know who's speaking there. You see what I'm saying? Because it's within a chapter. But can I just read one little part that MJ wrote so you guys can get a flavor?
Please.
So this is page 96. The barbershop. So this is MJ that wrote this. The barbershop in the inner city is thought of as a quasi-sacred space for men to come in, kick back, and speak on a variety of issues like sports, politics, and relationships. Remember the film Barbershop? Nothing was off limits for criticism. And the Barbershop movie, just like real life, no topic is out of bounds and nothing's untouchable. Not even Jesse Jackson. Well, with the advent of social media and the diverse information that flows from it, the barbershop has become a battleground for the exchange of existential thought and debate on the issue of identity versus faith. In my own experience, MJ, I found myself defending my faith from the charge of cultural infidelity many times. Much like the reason versus faith argument sparked by human Kant during the Enlightenment period, there's an underlying assumption in 2022 that there's a wedge between ethnic identity and faith identity. People are looking at their identity as a black or brown person and thinking it's like what Abraham told the rich man. Between us and you, there is a great chasm fixed, so that those who wish to come over from here to you will not be able, and that none may cross over from there to us. Luke 16:26. So that's like how he introduces it before he goes to the issue. So I think that's pretty good. Personally,
that's bars.
Yeah.
Definitely bars. So then of course we have Mr. Adam Coleman. Can you please tell us, sir, what is it that you bring to the table when it comes to what's in this book?
Yeah, man, I'm just gonna piggyback on what MJ was saying. I could be petty right now, but contrary to what some on the panel believe, I actually am familiar with what I put in the book. We'll just leave that behind the scenes. But no. But so anyway, man. First of all, before I even go there, I just want to say I'm honored to be a part of it, man. Like, I mean, I feel like I've said it on my channel. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that we really appreciate enough what we have in the UA. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got people who are I mean, this is a relatively young online community, and we're putting out work already, written works, you know what I'm saying, that are well sourced, effective in the body, so on and so forth. Well, Brother Garfield in the building. Okay.
I love it.
That's what's up. Shout out to Garfield. But as far as the part that I played, man, is just really kind of giving a context to what it is that we're engaging. I feel like so many times we know in the urban apologetics community, like what we're up against, but I think often it's still kind of misunderstood in terms of the groups, the Hebrew Israelites, the Comedics, and so forth. And like, what are they even upset about? There's still a lot of misunderstanding there. So I try to write something that really kind of clear that up and just lay out exactly what are the grievances that these types of folks have with Christianity and how we can engage them, at least on a basic level. Now, in the midst of that, my goal is to, in a sense, kind of build a bridge, and help people understand, not just within the urban apologetics community, what it is that we're doing, but those who are not familiar. Maybe they're already engaged in apologetics. Maybe they typically deal with, the new atheism and things like that, and have no clue why these guys are standing out on the street corner, yelling at them, with Hebrew Israel. We would describe, the Hebrew Israelite gear. I'm trying not to be provocative. I'm cleaning it up for your channel. That's why I keep studying. I'm gonna say some other stuff, but I'm trying to keep it.
For once, you want to be clean. For once,
I'm keeping it clean.
The book is very nice.
The book is very nice. The book
no one's mean. No one's mean at all in the book.
Not at all. It's just explanatory. But I say that to say,
I'm shocked.
Not even he said the sniper. But no, for real, man. Like I think there are certain things. I'll just use an example of the Hebrew Israelites. For example, if you really listen to their sales pitch, ultimately they're targeting the issue of identity and their articulation of resolving the problem of evil. And now philosophers and apologists outside of the community understand the problem of evil. Like they know very much about it. They've response to it for a while. And what I try to do is paint a picture that, hey, these guys are in essence articulating the same kind of concerns that we deal with in apologetics all the time. So even though we're talking about a particular context, there's no need to, put urban apologetics out on its own island apart from, apologetics work in general. So I try to build those bridges to help people see like where urban apologetics fits within the broader scheme of apologetics in general, man. And at the same time, get some understanding. So yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
That's good.
I want to quickly look just at some of the table of contents. And I was kind of hoping vocab, we could kind of just quickly walk through some of these chapter headings and give us a quick synopsis. Like Pitbull's state of mind. That's very catching.
Well,
give us a breakdown of that real quick.
Nas had the New York state of mind, which is like always being paranoid and aware and grimy. But the Pitbull state of mind is the urban apologist has to think this way, where no amount of force, no amount of pressure will cause you to quit doing what you were called to do no matter what. So the Pitbull state of mind is talking about tenacity, a firm grip on Christ and the gospel, and you won't let go no matter what. So no matter what opponents do, no matter what, to be frank with you, maybe some Christians do, no matter if you feel underappreciated, and no matter even if you hear new arguments that you say, what? That's what that is, the Pitbull state of mind.
Nice. And apologetics.
Hey, can I jump in there right quick? I apologize.
Sure.
I don't, hold on, okay. I'm gonna let you finish.
Thanks, man.
But seriously, man, I want to publicly say that when it comes to the Pitbull state of mind, when you read through that chapter, I want to publicly say that, much respect to you, vocab, for exemplifying that Pitbull state of mind. You know what I'm saying? Based upon the stuff that you endure that we see on camera, and the conversations we've had, given that what you endure off camera, I want to publicly say respect to you, my brother, for having that Pitbull state of mind, and really showing people what it means to walk in the grace of Christ as we finish this race, man. So I want to say that.
Thank you.
I just jump in here too as well, because this is the first chapter of the book, and I think that it really sets the stage for the rest of the book, like the way that vocab brings out, he explains and brings out the necessity of the Pitbull state of mind. That will be the thing that will propel someone into wanting to do apologetics. Sometimes we can get intimidated because we might not have the answers to all of the questions. But if you have the Pitbull state of mind and you're resolved that you have the truth, and just because you don't know the answer to a question or a claim doesn't mean that you don't have, you're not on the side of truth. And so I think that he really did a good job in conveying that. This first chapter will definitely make you want to continue reading.
That's exact. I mean, they both nailed it. Praise God. Apologetics in the city. It's about how Christians historically have cared about the cities, and about culture as well. And so what does contextualized apologetics within the context of the city life in the city, what does it look like? And so it's just a discussion of that with some key Bible verses and some stats and information about different city contexts. So essentially that chapter is sort of like an introduction to the idea of contextualization. Which that was the original title, was Apologetics in Context. But I realized that title is not, it sounded kind of academic-y. So I got away from the Apologetics in Context title, street level apologetics, which I like a lot better. You're muted. Is he muted?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I am. I was muted. My bad. Could you speak on apologetics and evangelism?
Yeah, you talk about chapter 4?
Yes, sir.
So that's the idea of this book, yes, is inspiring people to share the gospel, but that, you know, you're going to encounter objections. And my contention is that you want to have apologetics in your evangelism, but I focus also on the idea of like the ultimate or the final apologetic, which is like the personal apologetic of your life and how you are. And, you know, we could all do better in this. So me writing this doesn't mean I think I got it down. This is me reminding myself as a Christian and encouraging everybody else and that kind of thing. But
Sure.
that's what that idea is, sort of just this, the lifestyle of evangelism, Christocentric evangelism, and remembering that apologetics is not conflicting with evangelism if it's done in a biblical way.
Now, in chapter 7, you have something entitled Apologetic Styles.
Yeah, so if I was going to be more technical, I might have called it apologetic methods. That's why styles is in quotation marks, but my goodness, apologetic methods. Is that what people want to read? Chapter 7 is different than, you know, each chapter is unique. BK, each chapter is unique, but chapter 7 is probably the most different. And in fact, I have a little caveat in the beginning. I say, look, there's going to be some higher level terminology in here. There's going to be this chapter is kind of philosophical. And so it's me trying to further flesh out from what I think is a theologically accurate perspective, what I mean by the pit bull state of mind in kind of more technical terms. And that's to do with 1 Peter 3:15. We often know about prepared to make a defense or have an answer. But the first part says, set Christ Lord in your heart, set him apart as that. That's how you have him fixed in there. Set Christ as Lord, as holy. And so with that, the idea is our apologetic begins with a very Jesus-centered and I'm going to say Bible-centered approach. And so some people may say, well, that sounds awfully presuppositional. And yes, but I try to make it a way that even a non-presuppositionalist could like. So humble presuppositionalism, notice. So it's not some kind of rigid way. It's a very flexible way. And I think a lot of stuff in there, regardless of how a person has a certain methodology, I really do think they'll be able to go along with. And even if they don't, I think some people that maybe think some of the book is basic might say they might be wanting a chapter like that, because the chapter does kind of go like this for a second. As far as the stuff I had written previously, I'm kind of setting people up to read chapter 7 to go a little deeper into some philosophy and some theology. I enjoyed the chapter. I think it's a little longer than the other chapters too, if I'm not mistaken. It's a little longer. But there is a glossary in the back. So I define terms as best as I can in the chapter themselves, but actually the back of the book also has a glossary. So I try to help people not get lost.
Right.
Can I make a few comments real quick?
Sure. Please do.
I enjoyed that chapter. I know vocab gets tired of me calling
I did too, actually. Yeah.
Talking about apologetic method and things like that. I feel like vocab is really probably outside of Adam, one of the only people in the UA I can talk to about apologetic method. But Dr. Frame says that in a certain sense, we're all presuppositionalists of the heart, so to speak. And you know, we don't set aside the fact that we are Christians when we're engaging people. We don't assume that it's not true when we are engaging. We're fully persuaded that is true. You know, we're in a place of what he calls cognitive rest. And so I really, truly enjoyed that chapter. And I like the fact that vocab trusts his audience to be able to digest some. I think that this is a pretty smart audience, and I think that chapter be intellectually stimulating as well as being solidly biblical. Good chapter.
Yeah, I want to second that. I'll be real quick, but you know, I agree. I mean, I don't necessarily come from a presuppositive background. The conversations that me and vocab have is really kind of shown me how I do think the precept should be more appreciated. You know what I'm saying, when done right. And I think that this chapter kind of reflects that. You know, I think that it's very non-preceptor friendly. You know, so regardless of whether you come from that background or not, you know, that approach or not, I think anybody who just appreciates the Bible can rock with it. So, you know, it's dope, man. I appreciate how you did that.
I appreciate that, Joe. You know, and there's something funny, at least I thought it was funny, where in the endorsements, I had two of my atheist friends gave the endorsements. And I told them to write whatever you want. It's okay. And one of them, who's a PhD student in philosophy in Hungary, put, you know, this is a good book, but then he put, now if he could only ditch the presuppositionalism.
How you get dissed in your own book, bro?
I'm a big boy. I told him I don't got to take it out. I'll keep it in there. You know, I told him to be himself. So I thought it was funny.
Cool.
It's all right.
And there's some other content here. Apologetics in the church. Please.
So that is trying to give people some practical ways about how to include some preventative measures for the church life. And Adam actually, you know, we've talked about 8, 9, 10, but in that there is actually a section that Adam also has, because he tells the story about how some apologetics in the church helped him, right? And so
that's part of my testimony.
That's included in there.
Yes, sir.
So the idea is try to get people thinking about, okay, practically, you're at your church. What are some potential ways you can incorporate better apologetic concerns and elements into the life of your church? So these are suggestions. So by this, I think people can tell the book is not necessarily filled with, when they say this, you say that per se. The book is more like large picture, biblical background basis, how to, especially towards the end, a lot of practical things like that. And so the idea is, okay, street level apologetics. What if you're trying to do this at your church in some way? Giving some suggestions, hopefully get people thinking in their church context about this.
Cool. And then in chapter 14, an open letter to urban apologists.
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to give it completely away because we want people to buy the book, but what inspired this particular chapter?
This was when it's partially, you know, me kind of thinking about myself and mistakes and errors. So this is to me too. But then also when I kind of thought about any Christian doing apologetics, especially online, and then kind of applying that, especially maybe to urban apologetics. And the kind of essence of it is, you know, try not to be a big jerk online. That's kind of like, and again, we can all fail at this. Some people will be like, oh, that's Rich coming from vocab. He does parodies. So, you know, I'm very contextual. Meaning, you know, to me, I do see a difference in me sitting down for lunch with somebody versus I'm doing a skit on YouTube. But to me, the context makes sense. I can kind of separate those out. I get some people don't feel the same way, right? And so that's what that is. So it's a little bit different. You know, it's kind of like, dear brother and sister, think about this. Here's some Bible verses, you know, yours sincerely. So it kind of ends out the book with just like an attitude and mentality about how to try to go forward with that. And just a reminder to all of us. Like I said, this is, you know, this stuff is written to remind me as much as anybody else, you know.
Cool. And you said there is a glossary, endnotes, and appendices, which of course I think is super important. You know, you got the 10 tenets of an urban apologist, the doctrine of an urban apologist, glossary. Of course, you shot yourself out here with the social media. So, I mean, people don't usually talk about the end of a book, but I feel like that's the most important part, because you get the fact check, and also if you want to continue studying, it gives you a pathway to other, you know, types of literature to enhance your understanding of street level apologetics. So what are some of the things that we can expect even from the glossary and endnotes?
So the 10 tenets are directly from K. Scott Oliphant's Covenantal Apologetics, and I say that in there, so it's noted. These are directly from him. They're essentially reproduced. The doctrine of the urban apologist is like showing people historic creeds and confessions So it's like, okay, we're out here evangelizing, but I didn't get to talk about everything Christians believe. And so that's what the second appendix is. The glossary defines terms in a very theological way. So when you look at the glossary, it's trying to be accurate, but I don't act like it's being defined by anyone other than a Christian urban apologist. So you'll notice the definitions they're geared that way. The ideas, I want to show people how they're being used in the context of the book. So they're academic in the sense of, yes, for greater understanding and precision, but they're not academic in the sense of the academy would say these are biased towards a confessional stance, meaning someone who believes these things, right? So it's not, when I define atheism, it's not just defining it in a sort of a value neutral way. I'm defining it in a theological, apologetics, polemical way, but still trying to be accurate. But some of the words are just trying to help people out because, there's some bigger stuff back there like reductio ad absurdum, just a little thing on argumentation. And so there's that. And then the endnotes, the way we did it is it tells you what chapter they're in, but then it just goes. And there's 162 endnotes. So the book has approximately 50,000 words and 162 endnotes. And the resources in there do get deeper. And there's qualifiers in there. So there's little things about here's this, here's that. And a lot of notes and resources. And also a couple of jokes. I put a couple of jokes in there, some of which people may find inappropriate. So if you go through the endnotes, you're going to find some jokes.
In true vocab fashion, man.
It wouldn't be him, right?
Right.
And so there's a couple of little jokes in there that's stupid. But I mean, that's not the main essence of it. That's all it is. But the notes do have some good stuff in there, I believe. That I think will be helpful for people. And the cool thing is, like in the Kindle version, man, the brother, Daryl Newton from Firesmith Press killed it in the formatting because it's not just like the last book that was basically like a PDF that was turned into a Kindle book. And this one, when you click on the little footnote beside it, it brings it up in Kindle. It shows you what it is. Mm-hmm. So it's hyperlinked to it. So he did a great job. So in the Kindle version, it's a lot better than the previous book I put out, which didn't have the hyperlinks and stuff. It was more basic. So I hope it's very helpful. So a person could take this and say, this is kind of basic because it's mainly designed to inspire you and remind you. But if you want to go deeper, there's a ton of resources because even at the end of every chapter, there's a further reading section, and those go deeper into all those subjects. So there is a lot there. I mean, 162 endnotes is a decent amount for a book of the size.
Cool. And then lastly, what I want to bring up, I thought this was cool. I think this was part of your letter to the UA, right? Members of the UA community will not engage in immature, petty, hostile, and malicious infighting with other Christians as to warrant the negative reputation of being argumentative and mean-spirited. Members of the UA community must walk in truth and love evangelistically, missionally, and apologetically. So,
I did not write
that. Softball question, but why do you feel like this was needed to be inserted into the book?
Well, so I did not write that, and the footnote says that it's from an unpublished document that someone else wrote. So do you see the footnote there? Mm-hmm. So I'm including it, but I didn't write these words, but I thought they were really good. So I don't know if Adam wants to say the background of this. That's why I just kind of, even the source is kind of vague because I didn't know. I didn't know. But basically, some other members in the Christian apologetics, urban apologetics community wrote this. And it's part of a larger document they wrote, and I thought it was really good, especially this part. And it kind of inspired me to think that way and about that, and I thought it fit in really well with the idea of the open letter to urban apologists. And it was just really good. And I'm glad that they wrote it and they were thinking that way. And so I wanted to include it, but I did not write it. Huh?
I'm guessing. I don't mind saying. I don't think they would.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know. Maybe you could say something because I kind of made it anonymous because I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody about this little part.
Yeah, like Isaiah and Damon. Yeah. So, really, man, I guess it was like going back 2 years ago, and I'll make this really brief. Isaiah Robertson, shout out to him. Damon Richardson, shout out to him. They really had some foresight. They were observing amongst this budding UA community of ours that there was some unnecessary friction, and there were some conversations that we had where they were just very passionate about the fact that while we have UA community members bickering amongst ourselves, you got people out here with 500,000 subscribers on channels full of pseudo scholarship, coming at Christianity. You have people all over the internet that we need to be engaging. We're spending too much time with the infighting. And so, shout out to Damon and Isaiah. Actually, I think it was Isaiah's idea to draft a statement of faith for the UA community, with that portion, being a part of it, because they wanted to emphasize the importance of us really being a body. Just because we're online primarily, in terms of how we interact with another, doesn't mean that we're exempt from the principles contained in Scripture in terms of how the ecclesia, the body of Christ, ought to engage with one another. And I felt like they really wanted to, put that out there so we can see more fruit coming from our community. So I think that's probably where you drew it from. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they did a great job. So shout out to those brothers, Damon.
Shout out to them, yeah.
Isaiah.
Cool. So with that, if we could take a couple of questions from the chat, and while we're waiting for those questions, I guess, is there any possibility of a book tour of any sort, either physically or virtually, like something that that people could come see you guys in some way, shape, or form?
If someone wants to fund a book tour, I'll take it. It's like this. What I'll probably do is the poor man's book tour. And what the poor man's book tour is next time I'm traveling to a city in the United States of America, I'm going to bring some books and go somewhere and say, look, I'm on a book tour. And so if I get booked at a conference or if I'm going to visit family, I'm going to have a little small book tour.
Okay.
I'm just being frank. I think that's the reality of it. So,
right.
So in all honesty, I am working on it. Now, I wish there was a different kind of funding and availability for all this, because I do have some ideas I think could be really interesting with something like that. But it'll be more along those lines. So I'm keeping my eyes open this year. And speaking of this year, let me just say something. I know this is not what you're asking, but everyone should realize Adam Coleman is a published author in urban apologetics field now 2 years in a row. Because he contributed that big old chapter or the beautiful urban apologetics book, and now
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
what's next year? That's what I want to know. What's next year?
Well, I think you already know. You know what I'm saying?
Nice setup there.
He threw me the lob. You know what I mean? He's trying to set me up there, but no, I mean, actually, I am working on my own book. You know what I mean? I really am, and I'm putting it out there so I'll be held accountable. But been talking to vocab, and he's really compelled me to get out here and just dig in and get this thing done, man. So I am working on it, and I appreciate every word that I'm part of. I want to say this earlier, so I'm glad you tried to trip me up. I'm actually going to turn it into a blessing right here, but that's what you got to do. So you got to, But anyway, shout out to you again, man, for letting me be a part of this project. DNEW for the editing piece, because actually the portions of this book that I contributed, I had written it for audiences that I kind of feel like it fell on deaf ears, you know what I mean, when I first wrote it. So like the fact that you were able to revive it and incorporate it to this work, I feel like kind of breathed new life into it. So I really appreciate that, and DNEW, the way you kind of spliced it together with MJ, that's really hard to do. Like when people see the book and the parts that me and MJ share, how it kind of like plays off each other, and it's not like hiccupy and overlappy and that kind of stuff. That's really hard to do. So shout out to DNEW for the editing with that, But yeah, man. Oh, we got a question or?
No, not yet. Still waiting for the questions to come up. I mean, is there any way maybe we can have like some kind of like a mini online lecture thing that's inspired by the book from you guys? I mean, that'd be kind of cool.
Alfredo's really pushing vocab, man. He's really trying to get some more content out of you, bro.
Let's make a deal, Alfredo. Let's make a deal here.
Oh Lord.
Let's make it. You're from New York. You guys like willing and dealing, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Let's make a deal. So check this out. You send me all your notes on Kemet, and I'll turn it into a book on Kemet. That is written by your name first, Alfredo Valentin, and Vocab Malone, right? And I'll turn it into a book, and you can buy as many author copies as you want. You'll be published. All right. Okay. And I'll turn your work that you've already done with 1,000 PowerPoints with 1,000 notes into a book. Okay. And I'll put your beautiful picture on it and everything, all that. If you guarantee me you'll do that, yeah, we'll do lectures of the book online. Yeah,
Oh, Lord.
Bro, all you got to do is go to like one of Alfredo's videos on his channel and just get the slides. Just get the content of the
I
slides.
need him to send me the text,
that's a book right there. He does like
No,
a book per video.
No, yes, that's
You
what I'm
put all the
saying, Adam.
slides together. It's like 100 slides.
That's what I'm saying. No, Adam, you're saying what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't want to transcribe it back. I want him to send me that note so I can just copy and paste.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Yeah, but you're exactly. That's what I was telling him. I was like, bro, you already have a book. You just need a, and you got a book. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I was telling him. Is what you're saying. Yes.
Right.
So yeah,
I'm saying I'm gonna say it right now publicly. I believe in you, Alfredo. I mean that. I believe that you, sir. This is not like word of faith stuff. I'm not like speaking into existence. I'm saying I have confidence in you. You're saying to put this book out, man. I think it would be very valuable. So I'm with vocab on that.
I mean, Adam. I mean, vocab has definitely like throughout like the whole year. Every time he'll call me, hey, by the way, you writing anything yet?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, I definitely got to keep that in mind. I mean, vocab's up the first one. I mean, Adam has got on my case on it. A few other people from the UA definitely.
Yes, we need that. We need that.
We shall see. We shall see. It's a heavy endeavor, and it's not about me right now. It's about you guys. I don't know how you. I like that little Jedi mind trick you did. That was great.
It's your channel.
The reversal. Yeah.
It has to be about you a little bit.
Right.
True. So I know it's early in the game, but is there even a part 2 in the works, or at
of
least
this
in your brain?
Particular book, this particular one, not exactly, but there's companion pieces. So a companion piece is I'm working on one. This one's actually about a third written, but I don't know if it'll be the next one that comes out. But it's called The Gospel for the Block, and it's essentially sort of justification, but trying to sort of explain it and have it couched in an urban apologetic context. But I mean, ultimately, it's just essentially kind of an introduction to soteriology. So like there's a section there on imputation, on new perspectives on Paul, stuff like that. You know what I mean? An exploration of 2 Corinthians 5:21, for example, passages in Romans. So to me, that goes with it because there's an emphasis on the gospel here, and there's a little bit of that in here. But then the other books that I have brewing are this. I'll tell you, maybe DNEW, you might remember some from the Patreon hangout today. One is revisiting the first book, giving a new title, a new cover, and making it more professional. Boom, that one. Then this would be somewhat of a companion piece too, because if you notice in MJ and Adam's chapters, they did a brief survey of the land of alternative competing spiritualities in our context. I went into a book that's all of that, called The Kingdom of the Urban Cults, directly inspired by Walter Martin's work.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't write every chapter. The idea was Adam would do one, so and so. Each person would do a different chapter. The Kingdom of the Urban Cults. So those are two to me that directly relate to that. And there's some other ones, but I won't cover all of them. But so not necessarily a direct sequel like this, you know what I mean? But yeah, but I would like to say maybe 5-7 years do a second edition of this. You know, where you update some things, do this, do that, you know. And in about 3 months, by God's grace, I'm going to try to work on an audiobook for this.
Okay, so that's people were asking. Okay, great. Okay, cool.
Oh, he's actually right there. Yeah. That's. But it's a little bit down the road because it's an insane amount of work.
Yo, we need Jordan Ortiz to do that audiobook, man.
Facts.
Oh, yeah.
Facts.
Jordan Ortiz got the voice, bro.
Him and Phil Fox. They could.
Phil Fox. True.
Yes.
Phil Fox. I can't even. I'm trying to impersonate Phil Fox. I can't even do it. He's got that smooth.
Come on. Let's go to work. Yes, y'all. Anyway,
the real American Phil.
That's right. So, but besides, part 2 and stuff like that, what else can we expect from our panelists? Let's start with DNEW.
What you can expect from me is what you have been seeing, and that is me just in these UA streets, contributing in small, minor, but fun ways. And as well, BK, we are finally going to be getting to one of the projects that we've been talking about for a long time.
That's right.
We will be doing that next month, and I will just say that it is a subject that is very near and dear to my heart.
It triggers DNEW. It triggers DNEW to no end, this particular subject.
Yes. And so I'm fully willing to become the Contra Parthenogenesis apologist of the So that's what we're going to be doing next month. So I'm excited, and hopefully you guys can check that out.
Cool. Adam Coleman, what can we be expecting from you in the immediate future?
Yeah, man. So I was halfway joking, earlier, but yeah, vocab really has inspired me to really get my book done, man. So I think, for like the next, 3 to 4 months, I'm really just gonna just nerd out like a mug, you know what I mean, and just really put my nose down and get that done. I got to meet with my Patreon subscribers, kind of pray about, talk some things through with them. I was like, well, I want to kind of get their thoughts, so probably doing that this upcoming week. But after that, man, I'm probably gonna be just like radio silent for about a couple months, and just really knock out this book, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's about time. And I think it's time to get it out. And also, yeah, geez, man, we got to shout out the Proof for the Truth conference. That's coming up, at the end of this month, man, the 29th and the 30th in Chicago. Shout out to Alex McElroy, man. Come be out there in Chi-Town with them. Definitely going to get me some pizza. You know what I'm saying? Much to, the chagrin of my New Yorker here on the panel. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying that Chicago style pizza.
Listen, again, on the record, I'm not saying it's not tasty. I'm just saying from an ontological standpoint, it's not pizza. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
it's casserole. It's not pizza, but continue.
Okay, so. Cool. And then, shout out to my people's man. Actually, it's like I feel like half the UA community is going to be on this Unspoken documentary that's coming out, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's coming out on Juneteenth, man, June 19th. Nice. So I'm going to be in that. That's being put out by Jude 3. Shout out to my guy, Don Carey, as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's coming out, June 19th, man. So, but yeah, y'all be praying for me, man. I really am trying to knock out this book, as well as get my doctoral proposal done. You know what I mean? Because I really want to go back to school and get my doctorate. So y'all be praying for it, bro.
That's what's up. MJ Jackson, what can we be expecting from you, sir, in the immediate future?
Most likely choosing violence with you on Friday.
Yeah, bro, you choose violence every day.
Keep that in the bag. Keep that in the bag. People don't know yet. People don't know.
You choose violence every day.
Let's keep that in the bag. Yeah, because there's a certain individual that's actually coming at the UA as we speak on their life right now. So,
wait, what?
Oh yeah,
so we might have.
I might have to join with you. Who's that?
We'll talk.
Okay,
it's one of your best friends.
Just know he done it this time. Just know.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna show you.
Okay.
Show you.
But I'm about to say something slick. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice, man. You trying to bring it out of me. All right, I gotta say this though. I gotta get this off my chest, man. I gotta get this off my chest.
I'm gonna lose 5 subscribers. Go ahead. Let's go.
So here's my thing, right? And let me preface this by saying I'm genuinely not boasting about anything, right? I'm just making a comparison, right? People can take this how they want it. The reality is, the conscious community, particularly as represented on the interwebs, as my man BK likes to say, has been talking trash about us dumb Christians for decades. Yeah. Decades, literally. You know what I'm saying? It's always been, I'm saying obviously I haven't been on the internet for decades, but you know what I'm saying? But we've been getting this vibe that Christianity is the dumb man's religion like forever. But I'm just saying, when you look at the works coming out of that community, you know what I'm saying, it just, you don't see scholarship. You don't see legitimate scholarship coming out of the conscious community. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? With respect to, and I'm taking myself out of this, I'm just saying, like, with respect to the urban apologetics community, I think it's a testament to the intellectual nature of the biblical worldview that you have people who are stepping up and providing information, like well-sourced information and argumentation for the biblical worldview. And we're relatively young, certainly young in comparison to, the American conscious community. So I just feel like, there are certain things that, y'all know how it is, man. Like we've been debunking stuff, left and right for the last couple of years now. And one of the things that needs to die is this whole dumb Christian myth. It's particularly dumb Black Christian. Like we just need to put that to bed, man. That's as nice as I can put it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
That was actually pretty sanitized. I was shocked. Okay. I thought he was gonna really, lick shots right now, but that was good.
No, I'm keeping it chill. I'm not naming no.
But here comes vocab. He's gonna help you out right now. Watch this. Watch the messiness. Go ahead.
The book is very nice and very kind to people. However, there's like one or two lines where what I did is I added a little spice to parts of Adam's, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey, I wrote this. Is it okay?" And one of them I even put a footnote and said, "I wrote this," just so you know, because it's. And I'm gonna read them just because of it's only because of what you just said, Adam. Are you ready? I got two of them. Okay.
Yeah.
First one: many conscious community YouTube accounts are filled with so much pseudo scholarship that if all the pseudo scholarship content was somehow removed from their YouTube channel, all that will be left are clips of Uncle Cedric drunk dancing at the family reunion.
Wow.
Oh, snap.
Wow.
You ready for the next one?
Oh
No, but go ahead.
There's only two lines like this in the whole book, and the funny thing is, everyone would like probably would think it's going to be at the brews. It's not. Here's another one. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Okay. The conscious community is often suspicious that the scholarly works contradicting their views are disseminated by the Western power structure to miseducate the public about Black people. For these reasons, reliance upon pseudo-scholarship, Christ mythicism, and wild-eyed conspiracy theories are conscious community staples. To use an analogy drawn from the Italian-American culture, conscious community advocates gobble up pseudo-scholarship faster than a fat Sicilian eating bacala during the Feast of the Seven Fishes.
Wow.
Yeah, vocab definitely wrote that.
That's definitely vocab.
But it literally, hey, real quick, it literally says, if you look at footnote 135, and this is why I said you got to read the footnotes. Footnote 135 literally says, vocab wrote this offensive sentence. Adam had nothing to do with it. He's a nice guy and a better person than vocab. Please don't blame Adam. Also, Adam has a lot of kids.
He didn't know that. No, I did. I knew it was in there. It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was in there.
You guys are crazy, man. Crazy.
But yeah, I'm gonna be getting with you soon. I'm gonna probably. I got some stuff that I'm doing for my channel, but I'm in the process of moving. As I stated the other day when I was on your channel, shout out to my wife for her residency placement and her upcoming graduation from medical school.
Like excellence, baby.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I'll be going to school full time here soon, one day. So, shout out to her for that major accomplishment, and we'll be relocating back to Texas. Adam almost came to your state, man.
Oh man, look at that, man.
But, it wasn't to be so. Them winners had me.
The winners. That snow. That snow's problematic, fam.
Oh yeah, but they were ranked number one. But we're going back to Texas. So, but that's what I'm doing: packing and choosing violence.
Listen, that might be a good thing because having both of you in the same state, that's wow. That's a lot of violence.
A lot of violence out here.
A lot of violence. A lot of violence.
A lot of violence, man.
So vocab, besides this amazing book that's number one, I want to say number one in Amazon, ladies and gentlemen. What else can we expect from you, sir?
So I recently bought a new domain name, HebrewIsraeliteInfo.com.
Wow.
And it's not anything there right now except for a template. So people haven't even heard about this really.
Breaking news. Right.
And over the next months, along with once the my ideas, at some point in the audiobook, there's going to go up a beta version, a test version, and what it's going to be is think of like a Christian Wikipedia apologetics site on Hebrew Israelism is the idea. So in the beginning, the first stage of it will mainly essentially just be cataloging things. Here's the name of this camp. Here's the basics of their beliefs. And then over time, adding sort of, and here's interacting with their materials type thing. But in the beginning, it's sort of just a source of information. And so I've already bought it, and I've been starting the list as of now. I've got like 100 groups, individuals, camps, or leaders listed, and then I'm categorizing them. So the idea is a helpful resource. Like, who's this group? I never heard of them. You should be able to look it up and get some ideas about it, and then go from there. But it's going to be a little bit. But I've already got it. The domain is what I'm saying. Nice, but the information is in process. So that's kind of a thing.
Nice. And as for me, this Wednesday, I'll be doing a show about is Passover pagan. So we're gonna be talking about that. That's gonna be very interesting. And then Friday, me and MJ and hopefully Mr. Coleman might be dealing with some violence, on a grand scale.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna revisit a old friend of ours.
Body bag season.
I thought we was done. But
season.
I don't think we are.
Ty Mary.
What's that? Oh, snap.
Yeah. But yes, this has been great. Please, if you have not, please go out and purchase this amazing book. It's just amazing that this community is slowly becoming very prolific in its literary output. Pretty soon.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes, please.
Since we are referencing our friend, look how thick that book is. Look how thick that.
In comparison to
in comparison to other pamphlets that are out there.
Oh man.
Other pamphlets that cost $50 a clip.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those. Man,
That's
wow.
amazing. That's amazing, bro.
Just saying.
Oh man, you guys are too much.
And two, if you order off of Vocab's website, you not only get a book, you get a bookmark. Who in the contest community is offering bookmarks?
Oh, that's right.
Wow. We got them.
Right.
Yeah, so if you order directly from vocabmalone.com, I sign it and then give you a bookmark. So
nice.
Vocab, I need to buy some of those off of you, just personally.
I can send you author copies basically at cost.
I'm gonna let you close, Alfredo, but I go to Half Price Bookstore and take as many of these as I can whenever I go. They look at me crazy, but I just go grab a whole bunch.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
If you're in the Arizona area, come Saturday. I'm gonna be at a Movement Christian Bookstore, and from 11:30, Pacific time, till maybe about 2:00 or so, doing an in-store appearance with my little banner back here behind me, with the bookmarks in the book and signing stuff and talking to people. It's in Gilbert, Arizona.
Jose wants to know, can we get autographed copies of the book? Is that possible?
If you order them from the website or in person, there's if you order them like ebook or Amazon, there's no way for me to do it there. But if you order directly from myself, they're a little more expensive directly for me because I got to pay for the postage and shipping and all that stuff. But they're $25 directly from me. But on Amazon they're $15 or whatever. But they can do that, but have to be in person or whatever, or through the website. So yeah. But or if they live in Phoenix, they come Saturday. I'm working on a second in-store at another store here in Phoenix, but there's not a ton of bookstores left to choose from. But I am working on getting it in a couple brick and mortar stores. It's actually it's in 3 as of now. They only have like 1 or 2 copies each, so it's not stocked. They don't do that really anymore. But especially with an independent type book. But it is in a couple local stores in Phoenix physically.
Nice.
I heard it was an Arizona Times, the Phoenix Times bestseller, man.
Oh yeah.
Even that New York Times, it was like a Phoenix Times bestseller.
No, but it's number 1 in new releases, which is still shocking to me. It's like 25 overall in the evangelism category. It would be cool if we're able, especially Friday when it officially drops, so all the pre-orders go through and stuff. It'd be cool if we could crack the top 10 in that category. That'd be
dope.
Cool.
Yeah,
and that's why it's important for us to have this UA conference. Because imagine the table that we would have of all these different books, man.
That'd be fire.
But that'd be amazing.
That'd be fire.
Including yours if you send me your notes.
Yes, sir. I hear you.
I also want to say again.
I think we need to revisit that. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Let's end the show talking 20 minutes about BK's new book.
No, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
15 minutes.
We're also going to be next week on Vocab's channel as well, promoting the book. It's going to be a little bit different. We're going to actually open up the phone lines. And if anyone would like to come in and discuss the book and probably other stuff too, as is their custom, we're going to do that. And so that's going to be fun if you guys are around next Sunday, 10 p.m. EST. That is 10 p.m. EST, Nathaniel.
Right.
Smoke room for the book.
Yeah.
He said, I'm about to say that. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's a glorified
snap.
smoke room. That's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, it's vocab, MJ, Adam, DNEW, and BK signing off. Hey.